This might be an irritable driving with Goldbridge because I cannot stand how much it rains in this bloody country when it's May. Hello everybody, welcome to Driving with Goldbridge. I hope you're doing well. We're back again, lots to get into. We really enjoyed last week the local stories. I've got another one for them about a sex addict in their 60s. I'll also be talking about a few urban myths from kids when we were kids, what we got told, which was total nonsense and scared us. But today I want to talk about quite a few things. You know, phoning in but sick at work, I want to talk about that. Why do we always put silly voices on? But there's a few things getting on my nerves to start off with this show today. I'm sad to say that a couple of things have got on my nerves. First of all, I don't know whether you're ever in this situation. Well, two things happened to me right in the last 24 hours and I thought this is perfect for driving with Goldbridge. One of them was in the supermarket and somebody shit themselves, and wasn't me. You'd never recover from that. I've told this story before. About 13, school sports day, whole school was watching, 400-metre race. This girl in our year was coming round the third corner. She'd warned people she had a stomach ache, then she visibly proved it. White PE kit as well, it left nothing to the imagination. You never get over that sort of an incident. But anyway, so I have a Sainsburys incident to talk to you about, and also this look, you know, I love Seb, contractually obliged to do that anyway as my child, but no, love him to bits. But last night he did wind me up a little bit, and he's not done it on purpose, but I don't know whether anybody's like on Netflix, and you know when you're on Netflix and you log onto your own Netflix, and it's a bit like marketing, isn't it? It tunes itself to your likes and needs. So effectively I go on Netflix, and after years of Netflix on my Netflix, it knows what I like, so it'll recommend me films like The Departed, Heat, you know, it will recommend me TV series like Breaking Bad and comedies like The Office. So yesterday I logged on at recent watching. You know, like the first line for me is recently watched, and I apologise for the background noise here because it's raining, which it's sort of been doing a lot in the UK lately, and it's getting on my tits. This might be an irritable driving with Goldbridge because I cannot stand how much it rains in this bloody country when it's May. It's fucking May and it's raining every bloody hour. Like, we're gonna have a new season called the raining season. It's May. We've had no sun. We've had no sun at all. It's ridiculous. I'm fuming with it. Anyway, the Netflix thing. They've closed that. The Netflix thing. So I log on to my Netflix, and my recent watched programs are The Night Agent, The Last Kingdom movie, and Matilda. And I was like, what's going on here? Seb's gone and clicked my Netflix instead of his own, and then he's gone and put Matilda in. Well, I was devastated. It's like when Ten Hag picks Weghorst. You know what's coming and it ain't going to be good. So I go down my list of recommended stuff, and no longer is it, you know, a joyful list of films like The Bourne Identity and The Godfather and everything else like that. No longer is it things like The Office, the IT crowd in recommended comedies. It's now infiltrated like Harvey Barnes starting for Real Madrid, because as it says Heat, it now says the BFG movie, and then next to the comedy The Office, it now says TV series Bluey. And I'm like, that one mistake by Seb has messed up 3 years of brilliant viewership on Netflix, where it's so in tune with me, it probably knows what I want for dinner. And Seb's been on my login, put Matilda in and ruined it. But beware, these things can happen. It's like sticking Harvey Barnes in a Real Madrid team. It's just not the same. Anyway, on to Sainsburys. This'll make you laugh. But it might not make you laugh. You might be sympathetic. I'm at Sainsburys today. Don't you just love how people drive so carefully in the rain? I have to say that. But oh, somebody said this to me the other day. You are so environmentally arrogant, which I've never been called before. You're so environmentally arrogant, Goldbridge. Filming yourself when you're driving nowhere, wasting petrol. You know, what's that doing for your kids' future? And I thought, well, I do earn revenue from driving with Goldbridge, which will maintain Seb's status at private school. He doesn't go to private school. Not because I can't afford it, just I don't actually believe in it. I think private school, you know, you can get everything you want at. I think you've got to move into an area with a nice free school. But yeah, anyway, I'm environmentally arrogant because I'm driving for no reason. You're wrong. I only ever film driving for Goldbridge when I'm going somewhere for a purpose. And today I'm on my way to a butcher's. There is a butcher I could walk to down the road, but I just prefer the bags, the plastic bags you get at this butcher's, and the meat's roughly the same, but yeah, I just prefer the plastic bags and the person behind the counter. So I'd rather drive half an hour to get it. So there's your environmentally arrogant person. I actually have got a reason to go to this butcher's. Anyway, talking about the butcher's, I was in the local supermarket earlier yesterday, and I can't remember what I was in there for. I think I was trying to get my soup that I like, my cauliflower tikka masala soup from Sainsburys, which is just brilliant. Please keep buying it because they'll keep making it. I'm very panicked about them discontinuing it, so much so that I have been thinking about buying 100, buying a separate freezer and freezing them in case they discontinue it, so that'll keep me through for the next 10 years. But probably not the next 10 years actually. But anyway, I'm at Sainsburys. I've let that out of the bag now, and I can always put it in my plastic bag that I'm about to get from my butcher's. But yeah, I'm at Sainsburys, and I'm in the row with the soup, and then the Tanoi System announces, could the Hygiene Safety team attend row 6 by the canned fruit? There's been an accident. Well, instantly the curiosity in me went rising to the surface. Two things really. One, I did my normal, it's political correctness gone mad. Hygiene Safety team, they mean the cleaners. Why can't people be called by what their real job is anymore? Why do they have to glamorise it? Hygiene Safety, you're a cleaner. Get your examples in below. But anyway, so the curiosity, after slagging that off to some random 60-year-old who was also buying soup, she just nodded. I literally did say, Hygiene Safety team, they mean the cleaners, and she just went. Anyway, curiosity got the best of me. Betty wasn't coming with me, not with her hip, so she wanted to. She considered it. She said, I'll tell you what, I'd like to go and see what's happened on row 6, but it'll take me all day. I said, don't worry, I'll tell you and I'll come back. Anyway, I had no reason to go to the canned fruit section, but when somebody says on the Tanoi, can Hygiene Safety come to canned fruit section, there's been an accident, you do think, what's happened? You know, have they spilt a can of canned fruit? Is there little bits of peach slices all over the place with syrup, creating what would be a horrendously dangerous slip hazard? I had visions of Gerard there buying his tinned fruit, fruit cocktail, and slipping on the old peach slices that were on the floor. Anyway, needless to say, I got level with aisle 5, and I pretty much realised this was no tinned fruit spillage. From the smell I was getting, this was an accident that nobody wanted to have in a busy Sainsburys. I still kept walking. I got to the edge of row 6, looked right, couldn't get any further. It was like a police cordoned off area. They had a member of staff at the top of the aisle and the bottom to preserve the person's dignity. Needless to say, they'd well, it was either a dirty protest or they'd crapped themselves. But and then that got me thinking, well, you know, the Tanoi system has caused a problem there, but what could they do? What could they do? They need the cleaners. They've given them their new irrelevant name of Hygiene Safety. There's been an accident in the tin fruit section. you're always going to get rubberneckers. You're always going to get them. Tanoi Systems are brilliant though. I mean, look, just on from this, it did get me thinking when I was walking out. You know, I needed something to distract my mind from the smell, and I was thinking, you know, when like you're playing FIFA or you actually go to a game and they say, you'll get it sometimes during a game, but you will also get it at half time. Things like, Jackie and Steve are celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary today. Let's get a cheer for Jackie and Steve. They've been coming to the match for the last 30 years. Or, can the driver of the silver Range Rover that's blocking the entrance to the disabled section please come and move their car? And everyone boos them. But my mind started running away with how creative you could get in the Tanoi system at football matches, and how much fun it could be. Things like, we've got a lovely message here from Catherine Peters' husband Dave. He's bought her tickets today so that she can attend her first Manchester United match and watch her hero Marcus Rashford. His message is, I hope you enjoy your day. I've changed the locks, you bitch, your breath stinks, and I'm divorcing you. It'd be great just to hear that from a, you know, professional Tanoi announcer and see how the crowd reacted. Or urgent message for Darren Carter. He's attending the match today, and your mum wants to just let you know your dog's died. Probably get a bit of sympathy, really. Or message for Steve Swanson, who's attending the match today with his wife and children. Got a message here from Debbie who says, you've switched your phone off so I can't get in contact with you. Stop trying to hide from me. The child is yours, and the child support agency will be in contact very soon. Enjoy the match and your subsequent trip to the Pizza Express. I would love that. I would love that. Anyway, there we go. Tanoi Systems. How to make Tanoi System, because they are sort of, they've had their day really, haven't they? You know, with phones and the internet. Tanoi Systems, does anyone really listen to them now? You know, I always feel guilty when I'm on the plane and the stewardess or steward, or they've probably got a new name now, flight, I don't know what they're called. God, if a cleaner can be called Hygiene Safety, I think if you're a flight attendant, that's probably what they are called. You could be called, I don't know, aviation expert. I don't know. Anyway, when they talk to you when the plane's just about to take off, just before, and they start, can we have everybody's attention, please? Your flight attendant is now going to go through the safety aspect of if this plane lands on sea, what exit you need to go to, and remember to take your time and let elderly people go first. I mean, naturally, you don't want to think about the plane crashing anyway. So you obviously want to read your GQ magazine or look at your phone. And then, as you are listening, if they force you to think about it, you're also going, so this plane, 2 questions. I almost feel like putting my hand up sometimes when they say, if in the event of a crash, take your life jacket from above and get your, and when it lands on the sea, go to this exit and put your arms across you like that and slide down into the sea. 2 questions. What sort of incident would it be for this plane to land on the sea? And also how? Because I watched that video Sully with Tom Hanks in it when he landed it on the Hudson River, and they said it was like 1,000,000-to-1 shot that he did it. And even though it was on a river in the middle of a very populated city, they still said that it was a very big miracle that nobody died of hypothermia. So if we land in the middle of a bloody sea, how's this going to work out? Anyway, I'm overthinking it, but I always feel guilty that you have to listen to those people because you don't really want to. And that's a bit like Tanoi Systems. I think they're public speaker announcer systems, whatever you want to call them. They need a bit of glamour. Get a bit of glamour in your life. Hygiene Safety to aisle 5, we've had an accident in the canned fruit section. I mean, that's just brilliant. You can't write that sort of a script, and it was true. I don't know. Sick. It wasn't sick, it was shit. I want to clarify that. It definitely wasn't somebody who'd thrown up. They had pooed themselves. I didn't get the age profile, but they definitely had. Hatton. We're near Hatton today. Talking about sick, I wanted to talk about this. So, have you ever been in a situation where you have to phone in sick? You are so lucky these days as well, because you can actually WhatsApp or text your boss and say, I'm not feeling well today. But in our day, and maybe some ways you did, you still have to do it, you had to phone in sick. And like, the joy of being off sick when you're not that well is good, but the trauma of having to phone in was always the barrier the night before. It was like, I really fancy a day of Football Manager and you know, not going into work, but the whole getting up at 7 o'clock to have to, and you always tried to phone in earlier so that you caught some irrelevant member of staff who'd pass the message on. But then of course you do that, and that would be the moment where your boss has gone in early. But it's the brilliance of always, no matter what your illness was, you did put the voice on of, hello, yeah, I won't be in today, I feel dreadful, yeah, I don't know, what's wrong with me, yeah, I've broken my leg, why am I talking like this, oh, I've got a cold as well, and a sore throat with it. It's that whole voice thing was just always there when you were sick. Hello, I won't be in for the next week. Oh, you sound terrible, what's wrong? Yeah, my mum's died. And you've got a cold? No, I've just my mum's died, see you later. Whereas now you can just message it, can't you? You can make anything up, you know. My cat and dog died. They had a big fight, neither of them survived. In fact, these days you probably could get a week off to recover from the grief of your budgie dying. I remember one job I had, and I phoned in and I said, yeah, I won't be, no, I didn't phone in, because obviously I knew. My gran had died, and I said, the funeral's next Wednesday, can I have it off as compassionate ground? And the boss was like, well, were you close? And I was like, well, you know what I can be like. I was like, well, can we define close? Like, there was no allegations or anything like that, if you're on about. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I mean, like, you know, I don't know whether I can give it you on compassionate grounds, because really it's only for close family relatives. Well, you know, I used to go around, she used to pick me up from school every day, and on a Friday she'd buy me bags of sweets and come and watch me play football. She wasn't there at the birth of my child, but, you know, she sent us a card. I mean, what's close? What's not close? Am I upset she's dead? Yes. God, that hit a nerve, and it hit a nerve then. Yeah, but it's phoning in sick. What's that all about? I'll tell you what, we should do Goldbridge's moments of the week. This destroyed me. I'm watching telly the other night, and I don't normally watch adverts. I should watch adverts more. I don't watch adverts. I'm sure many of you don't. You know, you've got Netflix, iPlayer, all that. You don't need adverts. I'm watching telly, and the advert comes on for Tanoi Ladies, which is for women who, I think, piss themselves a bit. I don't know. It's not when they're on the period. It's like, I think when they leak a bit, they can put a Tanoi Lady in, and it will, you know, stop their pants getting wet or something. Hey, don't have a pop at me. This is what it's all about. I don't hide away from that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's not the best bit. The best bit is, for the adverts, she's sat on the toilet with a packet of Tanoi Ladies next to us, telling them all about it, and we see the bottom half. She's got a shirt on covering up the chuff, but she's got her trousers round her ankles and her knickers. She's sat on the toilet acting as if she's having a piss, talking about these Tanoi Ladies. Well, Mrs. Goldbridge comes in, and I'm like, I can't believe this advert. And she's like, I don't see what the problem is. You know, it's good advertising, really, at the end of the day. I said, she's sat there having a piss. She's sat there having a piss. Oh, says, I don't see what the problem is. I say, I can't believe it. You didn't used to get, when I was a kid, they used to advertise bloody sanitary towels with some woman dancing along roller skating to It's My Life, It's My Life, you know, in gym wear. She wasn't there bleeding all over the bathroom or anything like that. What's next? Goldbridge, we've got a promo for you with Dulux toilet paper. We want to sit on the toilet with your kegs round your ankles the morning after you've had a takeaway. Oh, pass me the Dulux, it's so soft on my arse. I don't know about that. I don't want to see some girl with the shirt covering her chuff advertising stuff like that. Just do it in a cafe, having a drink, and say, get your tenor ladies today, they're discreet. There's nothing discreet about having your pants down, having a piss telling us about it. Anyway, yeah, that's just something from the week that I saw that sort of bothered me a little bit. And I'll tell you what else bothered me as well. It got me thinking. I don't know who died, so rest in peace. It could have been a lot of people have died recently, famous and stuff. So I'm not taking the piss out of them. But basically, somebody died in the last few weeks, and I saw Jedward do a tweet about it, and I thought, God, you've died. It's bad enough that you've died, but then Jedward are doing a eulogy for you on Twitter. I mean, I'd actually rather, when I die, and I'm sure there will be some people out there who go, oh, I hate the Forest fan, I'm glad he's dead. I mean, it's not nice that people come up with stuff like that about you when you're dead. It's disrespectful. But I'd probably rather that than Jed would go, I loved Goldbridge. His comedy was first rate, and his football opinions were brilliant. I mean, you're better off being slagged off than having Jedward talk about you like that. It's, yeah, it just, a eulogy from Jedward. All the things you've done in life, everything you've achieved, all the charity work, only for Jedward to give a eulogy of you on Twitter. Yeah, I'd rather they didn't. For me, it'd probably be Ollie Murs. In fact, that reminds me of a mate once said that to me. He said, well, it wasn't about death. He was like, you know what? It gets to the end of the night. I mentioned a mate of mine who, at the end of the night, he'd just go with anything, just to, anything. He'd just ask anybody. I remember I told you the story. He was on a nightclub getting off with this girl who we thought might be a bit overweight, and then we're told that she was 8 months pregnant. And he was more than getting off with her. His hands were going everywhere. It opens up all sorts of questions. Anyway, there was another mate who was like the opposite. He was like, gets to the end of the night, I've got no interest in, having had loads of drink and just settling for something that, really isn't logical. I'd rather go home, have a KFC and get my porn mags out. And it was magazines in those days because the internet didn't exist. And I always remember saying to him once, you sound to me like you've got experience of this. And he said, yeah, it's the closest I've ever come to knowing what an eating disorder must be like. When you wake up in the morning with somebody and you've had a night with them and they're absolutely disgusting when you wake up in the light of day and you instantly throw up from the guilt. And I was like, yeah, I've got to put my hands up. I've never been in that unfortunate position. Look at me, it'd be very rare that I would be in that sort of a situation. The lowest I'd probably pull is an 8, but it always sticks with me that. It was rather go home with a KFC and find my porn mags than make a mistake that I'm going to feel guilty about. Which is a little bit like that eulogy thing, isn't it? I am just going to thank you very much for watching. That was the Driving with Goldbridge. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe section there, because I don't know how long I've got left on my recorder, but I'm not quite at the butcher's yet, so I'm just going to, it might run out, so I'm just going to add that in there. But I have got a couple of things I wanted to say. We did local stories last week. Well, local story this week was, and this is genuine, read this week, thought I'd use it for Driving with Goldbridge. 60-year-old who never liked sex has got her libido back at 60. And they had a picture. Not of her doing anything, that would be gilf, disgusting gilf. But it did get me thinking about, one, how did that story come about? Did she ring up the local news desk and say, hey, I've got a really interesting piece for you. I never liked sex, but when I was 60, I suddenly was wetter than a tap. You know, it's disgusting to say that, but that was probably the focus of the phone call. And then the journalist who went, can I come round tomorrow and we'll write a piece up about it? Just the mind boggles, but that's local stories for you. And also, who's facilitating this active sex life? You know, it's like a parking space next to a car that's got damage down the wing. I'm not parking there. There might be a space, but I'm not parking there. And then the other one was, you know, last week I was talking about how if you swallowed chewing gum as a child, you feared you might die. Well, I was reading some of the comments last week, and somebody said apple pips, and I had to bring this in. So, yeah, if you swallowed an apple pip or an orange seed, it would grow inside. You would grow an apple tree inside you. That's genuine. It's not true. That won't happen. But that was genuinely what we were told as kids. And get your comments in below about these sort of things, because I'll bring them into the show next week. We were genuinely told if you swallowed an apple seed or an orange seed, an apple tree or an orange tree would grow inside you. The fear when you felt, because they had a bit of a taste, an apple seed, they're a bit woody, and the fear of that taste, knowing you'd swallowed one, I'd be straight into the bathroom, like drinking loads of water. But then I'd be thinking, am I just feeding the tree? I'd think about whether I needed to like go on a food and drink protest. I'm not eating or drinking for a week. I cannot feed this seed. And then, you know, your next 2 or 3 craps over the next few days, you're checking, looking, you know, is there a seed in there? Who are these evil people who told us these things as kids? If you swallow chewing gum, you'll die. If you swallow an apple pip, a tree will grow inside you. And the fact that it became so, you know, the internet's a great thing. It would have been a great thing when we were kids, because these sort of rumours would spread by like wildfire. Absolutely incredible. Anyway, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe, bottom right hand corner. I'm enjoying having these back, and I was stunned at how many people actually watched it last week. So if people keep watching them and liking them, I obviously will do more of them. So make sure you subscribe and smash a like on the video. I'm Mark Goldbridge. This was Driving with Goldbridge. I'm nearly at the butcher's. I'll speak to you later.